Good evening and welcome to our Covenant Healthcare sponsored pregame show on Bay County TV. Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham along with you. Bay County battle, playoff implications on the line.
I tell you, we talked about it before the show. It's homecoming, it's rivalry week, and we just talked about it. There's a lot of playoff implications with this game. Getting in, home field advantage possibly for at least one of the weeks of the playoffs. There's a lot riding, especially with the last week's loss for Garber and last week's victory for the Glen.
Glen we'll talk about first. Got back to 3-3 with that victory and started off the season very promising at 2-0. Hit a little bit of a stumbling block in week 3 against Elma. I understand 5 turnovers were a huge factor in that game.
I think you're going to look back at both Elma games for both of these two teams that would, if they could go back to one specific game, the Elma game for both of them right now is an Achilles heel. Last week, Garber got taken into overtime, wasn't able to convert the 2-point conversion, and then Elma got John Glenn earlier in the season. You know, the one thing about John Glenn is they really got that running game. They got the passing game mixed in a little bit earlier. They're dealing with some injuries, but they've been able, you know, we've covered the Tri-Valley for several years, and the one thing about it is Freeland and Frankenmuth, you know, they're going to be battles, and I don't want to say you automatically put a loss in your column, but you know it's a certain level, so you've got to be able to win the other games, especially when you know that you're as talented, if not more talented, but the turnover key is always going to be the key.
Well, elite are what those teams, in one word, you can sum them up. On the other hand, 4-2 Garber. This is a huge game for them because next week they have got Frankenmuth. So very, very important for the Garber Dukes to come out tonight with a humongous injury pending with their star quarterback.
You know, the thing about Garber, we had them a couple of weeks ago, and we talked even then about their ability to put the ball in the air, pound it with Christie at the running back position. They've got a lot of weapons, and last week was Cade Coquillard's first opportunity at quarterback, replacing the injured Tommy Shapansky, and did well. They had some turnover issues again, so your Elma game, both teams with turnover issues, but it was but this is a different atmosphere. It doesn't matter what your record is. It doesn't matter what you did last week. Both these teams, one team could be 5-0, another team could be 0-5. It doesn't matter. You got John Glenn, you got Essexville Garber. You got two schools that I was never truly a part of until my son came here from the basketball standpoint that really don't like each other. They don't like crossing the bridge, and when they do, they're going to go to battle. So, you know, regardless, you can throw all that other stuff away. Garber obviously has a lot more with the homecoming festivities going on, a beautiful night that's turning out to be here at Essexville, and I'm looking forward to a great football game. I almost said basketball. I'm ready for hoop season.
One key, I think, for Garber tonight is the exchange from center to quarterback. Shapansky at 6'5", Coquillard at 5'10". That is a huge radius differential.
You don't think about that, you know, especially if you're a fan, you're just watching the game, or even as a parent just watching the game, go, how come they can't get the snap right? It's not that easy. You know, you're going from a guy you've been snapping the ball to for 2 years, again, at 6'5", a physical presence, hands, big hands, and now you're going to Cade, who's, shorter in stature, provides a little bit different, but it takes a lot. There's a lot of timing issues. There's a lot of things that go into it. There's a lot of practicing. When you only have a couple of days to get ready for your first game at quarterback, there's not a lot of time. So maybe this extra week of preparation, this extra week of prep time, getting a couple extra snaps in there at practice, you know, it should turn out better for the Dukes.
We are looking forward to a great battle between two really good football teams, John Glenn and Garber. Back for all the game action in just a moment as we conclude our pregame Covenant Healthcare sponsored show.
In the fight against cancer, you are never alone. The Covenant Cancer Care Center pledges to stand by you every step of the way. And standing with us now is MD Anderson Cancer Network, a program of MD Anderson Cancer Center, one of America's leading cancer care providers. This extraordinary affiliation gives families unprecedented access to world-renowned cancer treatment plans close to home. Together, we can fight cancer, hand in hand.
Good evening and welcome. Week number 7 of the high school football season. The Garber Dukes will be kicking off to the John Glenn Bobcats. And we are moments away from something that should be a lot of fun, Jason.
Friday night football is alive tonight at Ed Harvey Field here in Essexville. I tell you, the best part about this, the crowds are going to be into it. The teams are already into it. It's 0-0. Let's get this thing rolling.
Well, I already bought my 50-50 tickets because I know we'll be rich when we win that. So,
well, we're looking at early retirement.
How it all shakes. High, deep end, over end kick. It's going to be taken back at the 1-yard line. Staying in the field to play, trying to come upfield and rocked at about the 15-yard line on the return. There's a little extra pushing and shoving going on as that return was made by, I'm waiting for kids with those great numbered jerseys, and it's going to be fun for us to see tonight. Looked like Aiden Warren on that return for the John Glenn Bobcats.
Yeah, I tell you, they had a chance just to let it go, maybe get over his head, get in the end zone, start the game off with a little bit better field position. But you know what? It's a rivalry week. Let's see if we can't make something happen right off the bat. But it looked like the Garber Dukes on that hit may have ignited the momentum.
Yep.
Swinging.
That is the first blow of what should be many in this game, and we are certainly excited about it. And we can't get anything started here till John Glenn had those footballs all covered up so they stayed dry. And you assured us before the game, and I confirmed it, we're not expecting rain tonight.
Well,
so
you always got to love when the offensive line comes up and they all look at each other. Where's the ball? Where's the ball? Who has the ball?
We're missing one thing.
Well, now we are ready to roll.
Split backs in the backfield. Kind of an offset eye for John Glenn. Wyrowski trying to turn the corner. He's going to pick up a little bit of yardage, and we've got a penalty flag right at the point of attack at the corner. And 9 times out of 10, that is going to be holding or blocking the back on the offense.
No, it looked certainly like a hold. It looked like he took him down to the ground. You know, I think this is a good type of game right here, you know, with the rivalry that they have going on. There's going to be a lot of extra pushing, a lot of adrenaline, I think, early. I think the teams are just going to have to settle in to see, kind of feel each other out a little bit. You know, the holding right there kind of wiped out a nice little run on first down by Wyrowski. And, you know, now he's going to have to go back to bat.
So they're going to have that spot foul. And they are going to move that ball back. And we've got Ed Phillipson and his crew tonight doing the game. So a great veteran crew of officials, and it was great to see Ed for a minute. We've had opportunities to work off it in the past, so it will be a penalty that will make it first down and about 19 yards to go as John Glenn backs up inside their own 10-yard line. Wyrowski with a single back. Hand off to the near side. Couple of broken tackles. Picking up 4, 5, 6 yards. Carrying Garber defenders with him. And
it gets him back to a manageable 2nd and 10 right there off the 1st and 19. Was that Demarest with the run? Sophomore Logan, is it Demarest?
Demarest. Yep. We're looking at this John Glenn roster, and I'm going to tell you what, Coach, those numbers are for young people and names to be looking at. So if we're a split second late on these, it's the old peeps are trying to look down at
we're trying
some very fine font.
It's not lack of effort, I can guarantee you folks at home.
Gain of 7 on the play. It'll be second down and 12 yards to go. Wyrowski on the keeper trying to come around the corner. Picks up a modest gain, gets hit inside and out. Leading tackler on the play is number 15, and that's somebody, Caleb Christie.
Yeah,
we're going to be calling all night long. He and Potts are the two really active people that will float from sideline to sideline.
You know, from a couple weeks ago, it certainly was a name we called often, and you know, and Christie's got a little history in this game too. So let's not let's take that for a grain of salt. That's going to be a big part for what he's looking forward to this game. He's been dialing this game on since he became a Garber Duke.
Coach, you promised us no rain.
Well, if we just put the cameras over there, you'll see where it's sunny.
Okay, that is perfect. Third down and 8 yards to go.
Oh, that's going to be...
As it's a big down for the John Glenn Bobcats. Wyrowski squares up the shoulders, lets it fly. Christie picks it off. 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He's into the end zone. It's a Garber Duke touchdown.
I tell you, you know what? He had a guy named Van Sumeren chasing him, and maybe let that out a little bit earlier than what he wanted to. Christie in great position, great spot to make the right play for the Garber Dukes as they take.
Christie came from his inside linebacker, flowed with the eyes of the quarterback, Wyrowski, really stayed out of the field of vision until that pass was in motion. He stepped right in front of it, caught it in stride the other way and went and touched into the end zone.
Well, we talked about field position earlier. That was a great play for the Dukes, but, you know, it's a difference when you're at the 15-yard line, at the 14-yard line. That interception, you're not running it back 60 yards. You're simply taking the ball off almost like a receiver would. Catch the ball and go. And here's another part of the Garber Duke offense that we've talked about in the past. They've got great kickers. They've got a great kickoff man. They got Blaze Millar as the extra point. They got Elijah Tyson as their kicker. And those are weapons. At the high school level, those are weapons.
And we get time on the field with 10:01 left in the first quarter of play. Garber Duke strike first on top 7-0. Back in a moment on BCTV. Inside, outside, or even in your home, there are lots of ways to enjoy amazing food from Bay City Bills. Our dining room is ready for you, and so is our new outdoor seating. And we are ready for you with takeout too. Stop in to Bay City Bills at 1215 Michigan Avenue, or find us on Facebook or at www.baycitybills.com to see our full menu. Back here on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham along with you. Jared Doan, producing, directing, cameraman. He's the trifecta in one tonight, as we are glad to bring you the Garber Dukes and the John Glenn Bobcats. There's going to be a little slip on that kick as it got a little bit dicey. Demarest is coming to the near side of the field. He's got an angle. What a great job defensively.
Here's your man, Potts. You called him out less than 3 minutes ago saying he's going to make a difference up there, and that was a great stop right there. Even if he wouldn't have made the tackle, which he did, he still slowed him up just enough to get the rest of the cavalry involved.
He pushed off from the blocker trying to get him, and it looked like Demarest might have been able to get around the corner, but Potts recovered just in enough time to put a grab on and make it a tough tackle, as again the John Glenn Bobcats start deep in their own end, as they will be down just inside the 20-yard line again at about the 17-yard line. 1st and 10. It's Ryowski, and we're going to have a penalty flag. We're going to have a lineup offensively offsides. I'm going to tell you, Jason, those are the kind of penalties that will just make you pull your 4 hairs out of the top of your head.
Well, you know, I like to think that those 4 hairs will last a little bit longer. However, you know, we talked a little bit in the pregame, Jeff. Turnovers against Alma hurt both of these teams. We know this is a turnover type game. When we did Garber versus Birch Run a couple weeks ago, the 4 interceptions that were thrown, key times. You know, they can't turn the ball over. They can't afford these penalties. You know.
Yeah, exactly. And when the penalties and when the turnovers come are very crucial and important as to when they take place as well. And early with a pick 6, but again, you're starting up behind a halfway decent field position, having to make it happen. First down at 15 yards to go. There's a little shift for the John Glenn Bobcats. Wyrowski coming, he picks up a great lead block. Look at the pursuit of the Garber defense. They've got 6 hats to the football, as they've got a couple of defensive backs that came up and made initial contact. One of them is number 9 on the play, Armbruster.
Tell you, Ethan Burrows came in from that safety position from deep and made his presence felt. But it's nice when you got your whole team over there and you got your gang of teammates on that defensive side really pursuing the ball well.
Garrett Hayes also the corner in on that tackle. It looked like it was developing pretty good at the onset of the play, but Garber's defense, really their team speed, just flew to the football. Modest gain of a couple on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 12 yards to go. As again, they run a double shift, and you can go multiple men in motion as long as they all reset prior to the snap. Wyrowski trying to cut to the outside, and he had Van Sumeren chugging after him again.
You know, Van Sumeren is going to make his presence felt. You're talking about a Division I football caliber player. The idea is for Coach Coquillette is to continue to use him in multiple spots, trying to get John Glenn, when they're running that shift, shifting him away from it, just to keep playing that chess match that these coaches are going to play against each other. And, it'd be interesting to see what Coach Horton does here.
And this is a huge play early in the ball game, too. 8.5 minutes left in this first quarter. It's still 3rd down and what we call double sticks, more than 10 yards to go. So John Glenn needs to pull a big play out of their bag if they want to continue possession of the football. And the catch is made on the play. Looked like he's kind of slipped coming out of his cut, and that potentially kept that from being a bigger gain. But gain on the play was only about 4 yards on the play. It'll be 4th down and 8 yards to go.
You know, Wyrowski has put up some good numbers throughout the year. Noah Rylance, that guy, just received the recipient of that last pass coming on that slant. That's one of those passes right there. Again, if there's not a slip, there's a chance to get a couple more yards, and then gives Coach Horton an idea maybe to go for it.
Low snap, trying to get it off the side of the foot. That thing is going to go out of bounds at the 39-yard line. Oh, they're going to call it the 40. They like starting on those
even numbers.
Yard markers.
Even numbers.
Again, the low snap caused a hurry of the punt and a very short kick of less than 20 yards. And the Garber Dukes set up offense for the first time tonight in plus territory.
And up 7. That's always a nice time to enter the offensive fold. So we're going to see Cade Coquillard as a quarterback. Our first opportunity to see Cade. This is his second game as a starter here. A junior, obviously coming from a football family, as his dad is the head coach here at Essexville Garber. I expect to see a little bit of Caleb Christie, a daily dose.
Well, and I think so too, but I think you're going to see a more relaxed version of Coquillard tonight because of the fact that he's done it. He's known for a week he's going to be starting again. Christie blows a tire, and it looks like that 2 minutes of rain that we've got is going to be early on a potential factor. Receiver fell off the kickoff. The kickoff was a little bit stumped, so there's a 2-yard loss on the play. The field, we walked on it before the game, seemed to be in great condition.
It is, but, you know, we have gotten enough rain earlier today, last night, and maybe that little bit, just enough to maybe alter the game calling, too. As, you know, we talked to Coach Coquillard before the game about, you know, having a dry field versus the wet field and how that opens up his offensive options.
I think Tacey's going to be a big option tonight. He's to the far side of the field. Coquillard gives that to Christie. Christie tries to go upfield. And the defense led on the play by number 20.
Aiden Warren in on that.
Yep, Demarest and Warren in on it. Again, these John Glenn names and numbers are extremely small. It's going to be a challenge for my peeps tonight.
Well, I tell you, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt because I left my glasses at TL Handy Middle School, so I can see the numbers, and we'll do our best.
Between us, we'll be able to make it. Really, virtually 1 yard gain on the play. It's going to be 3rd down and 11 yards to go. So what started out as great field position has turned into a 3rd and double stick territory at 11 yards to go.
Well, John Glenn's defense, you know, they're looking forward to this as much as anybody is. We got to.
So we had somebody jump on the offense for Garber, so now that turns into 3rd down and 16 yards to go.
You know, we mentioned a little bit earlier, Jeff. I think the key thing with the rivalry game, you got all the adrenaline. You got, you know, you've had the rivalry week. You've had the different pranks going on. You've had, you know, your friends and your Snapchatting and your Instagramming and everything else going back and forth. And now it's game time, and you still got to go out there. You got a huge crowd for a Friday night football game here at Harvey Field. And now you've got to go out there and just bring it down.
Well, and it's homecoming on top of it. So they are wall to wall all along the fence. Exactly what we're looking for on a Friday night of fun. 3rd down, 16 yards to go. Coquillard, single back is Christie. He's back to throw the football. He's got lots of time. Downfield for Tacey. There was contact, and they're going to have flags coming from 2 directions.
Now, Jeff, you're an official. Different rules from the high school to the college to the NFL. In high school, do you have to have your body turned toward the ball if you're defending?
This was totally a contact issue. This had nothing to do with face guarding. This had nothing to do with turning the head back. So it's a 15-yard penalty, but it's not an automatic 1st down. It's going to still be 3rd down, but it'll be 3rd down and short.
But on that, is face guarding at the high school level? Is it you have to be turned around?
You do not.
Okay.
You're right.
I think that's the best part, you know, when we're doing these broadcasts and we run into a situation like you talked about when you had 2 guys in motion. There's some people who think that's automatically going to be a flag, and being able to explain, understanding that it's not an automatic 1st down.
Well, on a different day, it is an automatic first down, but this is Friday night. So 3rd down and 1 yard to go. That changes everything. I would say you're going to see Christie here trying to take it between the tackles. As he bangs forward, he picks up the first down and a little bit more. What a huge change of events with a 15-yard penalty.
They lined up Van Sumerman on the right side. They didn't even pull him that time, but when you see Van Sumerman on the right side, you assume he's going over, and you're going to follow that lead blocker. That time he went away from him, got himself a couple of extra yards, and tore up a little turf in the process. That looked like my golf game.
Well, and I like the way they use Van Sumerman as a big decoy. And that makes the defense slant that way towards Van Sumerman. And they were able to run Christie for a nice gain of about 4 yards on the play. Move the sticks. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Garber Dukes as they are on the march at the 28-yard line. Christie bangs forward, and he picks up a yard or two. Look at the number of dark blue hats on the football right now. 5 or 6 players getting to the football right now. And
well, they're lining them up. They're daring Cade to throw the football. And, we talked to Coach Coquillette a little bit before the game, and it's one of the things that Cade brings to the table a little bit more than what Tommy was able to do, is Cade has a little bit more of that running ability. And so it's going to be interesting to see if we're going to see him maybe fake a handoff and take one around the end or try to get around the end. I tell you what, John Glenn's defense right now, they're tuned in.
Well, they are geared up to stop the run.
Absolutely.
Pretty safe to say the defensive package is in place to neutralize the run as they're really committing 7 and 8 to the box. 2nd down and 9. Coquillard with a quick pitch outside, trying to get that forward, and look at him breaking tackles and sliding down for about 6-7 yards after him. Yep, out on the edge. Something looked a little bit out of place, but I do not think that it was a hold. And fans from their angle see anything. Fans from this angle are 70 yards away from what's going on. So I get it that they're there, they're fighting hard for their kids, but the officials, there's 5 of them out there for a reason. They're spaced very well on the field to not miss a lot of that stuff.
I was kind of surprised. We just talked about maybe getting Cade a run there. I wondered if he would have held on to that pitch a little bit longer, let Christie maybe get a little bit more to the outside. It was a pretty quick pitch. Be interested to see what they do here on 3rd and short.
See, I don't believe that was the triple option.
Okay.
I really don't think there was any read in that. I think they just wanted to see the flow of the defense, and they can go read option from that. As Christie bangs forward again, he's very close to that 1st down marker. And I would say it looks like by about a half a yard they're going to be able to move the sticks. Oh, they're going to say he's just short. So they put his knee down prior to where I thought it was going to be.
Put the old fist up for 4th down. 2 minutes and 45 seconds left here in the 1st quarter. Obviously a no-brainer.
Well, I think it's a pretty simple thing to do right now, and I think you got a great field goal kicker with that possibility, but I think with the dampness of the field, your percentage of getting a yard on the ground seems to be a little bit better at this point.
After the first 2 plays where there was a little bit of slip on Christie's behalf, he's been getting that downhill, going between the tackles and make sure that he's going in the right direction, and he keeps those legs moving.
As they come up to a big 4th down play right now, as Caleb Christie bangs forward, makes one miss. He's down inside the 15-yard line, down to the 13, and he makes that first person miss, and once he's into the secondary, he makes those guys' eyes light up. He's a big boy.
The one thing I liked about it, even after he slipped on the first couple of handoffs, he's not showing any apprehension. He's getting that ball and he's going. He's planning and going. He's going to let that plant foot do the work for him. He's just going to trust that he's going to be able to plant it good enough to get himself going in the right direction. Nice tough run. Another tough run.
$1:55 and counting left in the 1st quarter, as it'll be another 1st and 10 for the Garber Dukes. Motion to the wide side of the field. They are throwing to the corner, and that is intended on the play.
Max Fellows.
For Fellows.
That's kind of what we were talking about earlier, the face guard aspect of it, from having to get turned around. A little bit of contact. Fellows tried to go up. I'm not sure he's going to be able to use his vertical as well as he normally does on a drier field. I think that would have been a more catchable pass.
Now, the one thing that the casual observer might not have watched is they put Logan Anthony in motion to the wide side of the field, wanting to see how the defense reacted to him. Now, that suggests to you if somebody's moving, they're in man.
Right.
If they're not, they're in zone. So you might watch them continue with some motion to kind of help Coquillard pre-snap understand what he's looking at in the defensive backfield.
Yeah, you have that, but that's a name we talk about a lot, Logan Anthony. We haven't called his name yet. We've been calling Christie a lot. As he looks to try to go back north-south to east-west, but good pursuit by the Bobcats on that.
Now, they had great pursuit to the football, led by, amongst others, number 32 on the play, Nathan Ball. And he is a machine defensively. He had plenty of help on that play, though.
Well, again, their front group right there for the Bobcats, they're playing really well. You know, got a couple of fourth downs were unfortunate. They got the pass interference that was unfortunate, but you know, it's not lack of effort on that Bobcat defense right now.
It's 1 minute and counting left in our first quarter of play. I would say a pretty briskly played first quarter of play.
Well, if the defense would just do what the parents are asking about wrapping them up, you know, they'd probably be have the ball back by now.
Parents have got great expertise. Coquillard was looking for Van Sumeren out there, down underneath, and pass goes, and it is caught on the play. It looked like Logan Anthony over there just based on stature, but that's a long ways over on the other side of the field.
Tell you what, he kept running over there. I thought they were going to throw that to the softball field.
He ran out of real estate. We got an 8-yard gain on the play. It's going to be 4th down and 2. Does Coquillard roll the dice, or is he going to come in for a field goal attempt with 42.4 ticks left in the first?
I think in a rivalry game, it's early. You're up 7-0. This is an opportunity right now. You're looking to send a message. You're sending a message to your team that, hey, we're in this to win it. We're in this to score. We're in this to trust our offensive line to get us a couple of yards. We're in it to trust Christie to get us a couple of yards.
So they line up Van Sumeren in the H on the right-hand side. Do they follow him? Yes, they do. Christie gets very, very close. And he is actually down at the 5-yard line. I think it's going to be enough to move the sticks. It's not enough to move the sticks. The Bobcats have held, and the way the head linesman came in, he's going to kill the play anyway. And I know he was coming in because he said, I want to make sure we get the exact spot on this because it's close. Well, Ed Phillipson said it wasn't that close. He looked and he said the ball goes over on downs. Another huge stop in this first quarter.
Absolutely. The Glenn defense right now has been the MVP for sure of the first quarter. Put into a bad situation a couple of times. But you know what? They've held.
They've been very stingy.
Yeah, absolutely. They had to be. They find themselves down 7-0 and without them giving up a point.
As we see Ryowski, and this will, if it's a run play, probably be the last play of that first quarter with 36.7 ticks left. He's back on the keeper. He finds a little bit of daylight back across the green. Nearly broke free for a big one. He's going to end up with about 7 yards on the play before he's brought down defensively by Caleb Christie, holding on for dear life. And that'll be the last play of our first quarter with 20 seconds. I don't believe they're in any hurry to get another play off, as they will come over to the sidelines. Coaching staff says, okay, let's make this happen. So we are going to take a quick break as the camera rolls over to the scoreboard right now, and we'll see at the end of one quarter, it's the Garber Dukes 7 and the John Glenn Bobcats nothing. Back in a moment for the second quarter on Bay County TV.
For over 75 years, Frank's Great Outdoors has served as the Great Lakes Bay region's premier hunting, fishing, and outdoor shopping destination. What started in the mid-1940s as a roadside bait and tackle stand has now blossomed into a 30,000 square foot outdoorsman's dream shopping location. Stop by the store located at 1212 North Huron Road in Linwood, or shop online at franksgreatoutdoors.com to find everything you need to get your next outdoor adventure started.
Back here on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham along with you, and Jared Doan on the camera tonight, producing and directing as well. He's got his hands full with you and I, Jason, but he's a good man, and I'm confident. Second down and 3 yards to go. Van Sumeren had a little bit of an adjustment at the defensive line along with somebody else, looked like Dan Meisner. And those two people moving caused somebody to jump on the offensive line. And I'll tell you, that is a huge 5 yards of real estate when you're looking at second down and a long 2.
Well, Wyrowski got in that nice first down carry to end of the first quarter, got him 7, and had a chance for a little bit more. Had him still going 2nd and 30. And again, penalties and turnovers. The defense for John Glenn right now is doing what they need to do, but it's the offense. They've got to get something rolling. This is going to be a big possession for the Bobcats offense.
Well, John Glenn has certainly been stuck deep in their own end as they're going to try and run the football down the field. Rylski trying to get around the corner, and he's brought down just shy of the 10-yard line. So it is going to bring up a 3rd down and about 4 yard to go situation, as the Garber Duke defensive backs did a tremendous job of blanket coverage on the offensive receivers from Glenn.
In that offensive backfield was Van Sumeren again, and you don't realize, especially at this level, and not going up against a guy like that every week, you don't have a lot of time. You have to make that decision, that read real quick. He doesn't give you a lot of time for your 2nd, your 3rd progression.
If you wait till your 2nd progression, normally it's a little bit late.
You're seeing 2 and 1.
You're looking up at the sky.
Your body.
3rd down now. 5 yard to go situation. Do we got to delay a game? That's the only thing that you're going to see from that back judge, as that 5 yard penalty is going to make it 3rd down and 10 again. Move them back just inside the 5 yard line. There's a whole lot of officials in the stands again tonight. It's a great night again for football. 11:05 and counting left in our first half of play. 7-0. The Garber Dukes on top over the John Glenn Bobcats. And now Coach Horton's got a big decision to make on 3rd and 10, because quarterback's going to touch that football from about right on the goal line. He's not going to be in the end zone, but he's going to be close. He takes a quick step back. They throw a little quick out. What a nice catch. I almost dropped the ball, but picked it up. Modest gain on the play again. The defense got a late penalty flag on the play, as the catch was made by number 11, Schmidt. And what do we have late? If this is against the Garber defense, then that's going to probably result in a 1st down, depending on what we've got and where it's at. But they're all talking right now, so multiple people.
A lot of finger pointing going on.
Things going on that they're seeing, but nobody's moving right now, and this is a huge point in the ball game. Didn't see anything that resembled a late hit, but
offsetting.
All right, so what we've got looked like we had an offside penalty on the offense, and then offsetting. If you got offside penalty on the offense, that ball should have been killed before the snap of the ball. And what we've got with a little altercation is offsetting unsportsmanlike conduct. So I'd say you're going to replay the down, and what's going to happen is both of these players have got to be on notice right now that they cannot do anything else unsportsmanlike, or they're going to be out of the game. So he's going over against trying to explain to Coach Coquillard what's going on. So what you've got is a live ball foul, which I thought I saw was offsides, which should be. What do you think?
I thought it was a chop block. I thought it was a chop block, and I thought maybe the chop block added to the extracurricular after. So you got the chop block that brings everybody together.
All right. So again, I missed what he was saying, and it's going to be the penalty. This is what they ended up having. The penalty was declined. They take the result of the play. The other 2 plays were dead ball unsportsmanlike conduct. So the result of that play is 4th down and 8 yards to go.
So
and
that
John
supersedes
going to
which precedes the unsportsmanlike, the penalty itself that was live ball. Okay, that makes sense. So they're going to be punting
deep in the end zone. Much better snap. That ball barely gets out once again, and that's going to take a side hop, and that's going to go out of bounds around the 28-yard line. Again, he got it quick, but somebody from Garber got in there in a hurry to keep that ball from going straight. So another kick off to the side, and let's see who that was.
Tell you, Max Fella's the only one on Garber that was disappointed. He's looking to get his hands on that ball. He's looking to make something happen. He was hoping maybe. Guys, don't even worry about blocking this one. I got you. I'll bring it back.
Well, and I got to say at this point, Jason, you have got to be elated if you're John Glenn, only down 7-0, because literally their defense has spent the majority of this first half on the defensive side, and they've held themselves very well.
That, you're talking, the offensive has been in bad field position since the opening kickoff. Defense is going to have to come up with another big stop. I'm going to be interested to see if they're going to change up what they're going to do. Maybe pass a little bit more, try and get the ball out a little bit more.
As the pass on the outside goes absolutely nowhere. Very nice to see on that play by Coquillard, though. Made 3 progressive reads before he went to his dump-off pass.
Right, absolutely.
And that's something in week number 2 that's very, very tough for a new quarterback.
Well, you know, the thing about being a new quarterback, you're a new quarterback at the varsity level. He's been the quarterback on the JV team a couple years ago and then all the way up to the Jaguars and the Panthers program. So comfortability back there isn't going to be his issue. It's just the varsity speed getting caught up with him, getting those snaps, getting everything caught up with him.
Boy, Tacey's got man coverage here on the outside. Coquillard waits till the last second, knocks that ball off on the pitch.
I like that play. I really like just getting that defensive moving and see if you can't even fake one. Because, again, when you've got a quarterback who can run, you got to respect both. Now you got the little chess match going with that defensive end or the linebacker. Are you going to come at me or are you going to take the pitch man?
Well, and I really think this play was predicated by the first pitch because they wanted to see the defense react to the quick pitch. And the defense reacted very well to it because it was only a gain of 3 yards on the play. So it's 3rd down and 7. Potentially what they make on 3rd down will make it 4-down territory.
Yeah, possibly. But, again, we talked about it before. Blaze Millar is a great kicker who's got good leg and can definitely do it from this range.
Time to throw that football. Number 1 receiver's Anthony. Look at him trying to spin away. And he is going to be very close to the 1st down, but I believe he's just going to be about a half a yard short. That's going to bring up a 4th down situation.
You know, I thought, the nice thing about what Anthony did, he got to the sticks, settled down, and then ended up coming back a yard. Everything he did was right. That's something the Detroit Lions would do. 3rd and 6, let's go 5 yards. Let's go 3-yard slant.
And when you're running those short passes, though, you're taught to come back to the ball to make sure that the angle for the defender is not there. They have to go through you to get it. So 4th down and 1 yard to go. I would be pretty certain that this might be a Christie run.
It might be, but
I'm
again,
going out on a limb.
This John Glenn defense, though, well, your limb is why we're broadcasting.
My limb broke as Coquillard bangs forward. And I'll tell you, the offensive line got a tremendous push on that play and moved the sticks. It'll be down to the 13-yard line. At that point, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Garber Dukes. So the defense might have thought it was Christie time, and Coquillard pushes it forward.
Starting to see a lot of hands on the hips for that John Glenn defense. They've been playing a whale of a game so far, but you can only take so much. That 3 and out doesn't really give you a lot of time to recover over there because you're getting hit every time with a Christie, with a Coquillard, with a quick pass out to an Anthony. You're being hit quick with a lot of activity out there, and it wear you down.
As it's another 1st and 10 with 8 minutes and 5 seconds and counting left in the first half. Coquillard's looking for somebody to pass to. That pass to the outside intended for Tacey. And it's not there, and the fans. I didn't see it. I only saw the end where the kid was off balance, and that normally suggests you could be
feels
pushed.
Slippery.
Yeah.
It's a little slippery out there. It's the one thing about a rivalry game, you see it at the college level, you see it even at the professional level, the black and blue division when the Lions play the Packers. That little extracurricular activity. As the official and as a basketball official myself, you got to realize you got to pick your battles. Was it intent to hurt? Were you doing something that was definitely negligence?
And was it a push in the front or a push in the back? And that does make a difference.
Garber fans are saying
it
gets
was
tougher.
Right at the whistle. I don't say that it was late. I didn't see it happen. So 2nd down and 10. No harm, no foul, the officials think. Coquillard sends that thing out to Anthony. He turns around the corner, gets to the corner, sniffing the goal line. He's into the end zone. It's a Garber Duke touchdown. touchdown. Mr. Yak.
Well, I tell you what, the yards after catch that kid puts on every week never ceases to amaze me. But, Coquillas looked like he was just throwing out in the backyard. Here, Logan, this one's for you. Yeah, I'm gonna go over here and go talk to my dad real quick, and you just take it in the end zone.
He just makes it so well. And you and I, when we walked by him in the pregame, his lower unit looks like Barry Sanders in predicate to the rest of his body. He is just so thick and strong in the lower body, and he broke that tackle at the 9 and went right into the end zone.
I was thinking Barry Bonds' upper extremities, but yeah, either way.
Attempt at the extra point is up, plenty long, through the uprights and good. Time out of the field was 7:52 left in our first half of play. 14-0. Garber on top over John Glenn. Back in a moment on Bay County TV.
Is your pain holding you back from things you enjoy, like playing with your grandchildren or participating in a sport? At Collier Chiropractic, we specialize in neck pain, back pain, headaches, or sciatica that won't go away. If you've tried chiropractic, you've tried physical therapy, you've gone to your medical doctor with no results, or you take medication and it doesn't even touch your pain, then put this number in your phone, give us a call, see how we're different at Collier Chiropractic Bay City.
Back here on Bay County TV as the fans are getting their money's worth, Jason, as they didn't really like one of the last, well, I don't call it calls, they call it a no call, which they thought should have been, as they stacked 8 up in the box. So we know that there's another slip on the kick, and that ball is muffed at the 25-yard line, picked up and taken to about the 30-yard line, where the Garber Dukes with big hits on the play. And looked like Armbruster, amongst others, hit on that hit, but another kickoff where there's slippage. And actually, you're going to look at this and go, oh, 29-yard line, 30-yard line, great
field position.
Starting field position for John Glenn. They don't have their heels against the goal line.
I'm looking for Wierowski maybe to get a couple of keepers, but I really want to see him use his arm. Early in the season, before a couple of key injuries hit the Bobcats, he was able to put up some really impressive numbers and really open up the run game for those guys. That's right on
Just
cue.
like you wanted, they're going to try and make it happen. Again, superb coverage. They don't have the scout out there. There's a big offensive hold and an opportunity to get away with it. I don't know anybody from the John Glenn side that wanted to point out that obvious hold this time. They just go, oh, great run, great play. I get it. I understand. And
it's high school football.
When you're a head linesman, your primary responsibility is on the ball. And when that's off the ball, that's the kind of stuff that happens. And so huge chunk play for John Glenn.
Caleb Christie had a nice little conversation with one of the officials after that. And you look at your people your captains and the ones who are able to talk to the officials and the calmness that they go, hey, listen, this is what we're feeling out there. What are you seeing? Maybe just keep an eye on it. We'll see if that makes a difference.
Well, and that's all you need to do. Ryowski back. He gets away from the first. He's not going to get away from the second and the third
and the fourth.
Potts is there in company, and most generally you're going to have offensive holding. But I give Ryowski credit because he made the first person that was coming dead on to miss.
Well, he made the first person miss, but I think during that process he also saw the yellow hanky flying. He's like, well, do I really just want to take a knee? This isn't going anywhere.
Right, to get pummeled on this. And again, they're doing that to the other side.
Another chop block.
They're going to call a chopper, and that's a 15-yard penalty.
So let's talk chop block.
Yeah.
What
chop block is. Now, you are allowed as an offensive lineman initially off the onset of the ball in what they call the free blocking zone, which is tackle to tackle, to hit that defensive lineman below the waist. When you have a chop block, you are engaged either high and low. While that happens, the second player comes in and hits either high or low opposite where you're at.
Okay.
And that's what causes the 15-yard chop block.
Well, this is the second chop block that they've called against the Bobcats. And that's not an easy, we don't see that call very often. To have two in the first half, makes me wonder, is it not that it's an intent, but you're looking at it and you're trying to figure out, is it just because your leverage points and then you got your teammates that are coming in, or because Wierowski isn't able to make that first pass, now all of a sudden you're blocking into a whole different area as we got some more.
And I think what we've got is a timeout, John Glenn. I'm not certain. All right, so now what the fans have to understand, and it's going to be timeout. We're going to hold the thought, and we're going to come back out of the timeout, and we're going to further discuss what we just saw. Back in a moment on Bay County TV.
Village Towing and Auto Repair of Kaukaulin and Bay City is here to help you in your hour of need with fast and friendly service. With over 30 years of towing experience, we know how to get the job done quickly and safely. From big to small, we do it all. Give us a call at 989-684-9607 for all your towing needs.
Back here on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham along with you, Jared Doan on the camera. First down and a whole bunch. Ryowski back. He's got pressure coming from the backside. Sets a strike, and we're maybe going to see a flag at the end. Couldn't see where that was at. On the sidelines, again, you got fans, Jason, 70 yards away that think they had the perfect angle. If he was still in bounds, that's a perfectly legal hit. If he's out of bounds, then it's questionable. You got to give credit to the people that are right in front to make that call.
Well, again, we're looking at the same thing, and yeah, it was a great throw, great pass. Caught the ball on the sideline and got, you got to hit him, right? I mean,
that was Connor Schmidt with a great catch.
Yeah,
the Ryowski
absolutely.
pass.
Tell you what, I'm really impressed with Ryowski's arm, and again, I mentioned this not too long ago. I want to see him open it up a little bit. I think that's going to really open up his running ability, and that's how he was able to scamper down the field.
Oh, looks like they had Ryowski coming around the corner, and he is rocked behind the line of scrimmage as bodies fly everywhere.
That's my man, Dan Laz.
And when you look at the way John Glenn's season started, they had what many people consider the best first game possible, a huge rollover win against a Clio team that's totally rebuilding with Nick Barton from scratch. And that is a great way to have week one for a new coach come and have a big victory and get things rolling. Then week two, they had that win against Birch Run, and then they've had a little hit and miss since then, but they've played well. When they don't turn the ball over, they're in football games.
Well, it's the penalties and it's the turnovers. Coach talked about it before the game. We talked about assistant coach Dale Clyde a little bit. You're going back and you're talking about games you want to have back. They've got plenty of games that they wish they would have back.
As that pass goes downfield, that is Dabrowski. He picks up some yardage, and he gets down to the 30-yard line. It's going to bring up a 4th down and 8-yard-to-go situation for John Glenn Bobcats.
Noah Rylance, nice. I tell you what, that could have went pick 6. It went through two Dukes called that play. It was like a Tecmo Bowl play. And Wyrowski with a perfect pass to Rylance, able to get downfield and at least make it a manageable 4th down opportunity for the Bobcat offense.
Yep.
Trips. I love trips. I love trips.
And they're going to come this side with that trip. Look to the near side of the field. 4th down and 8. Huge play in the game. Ryowski has that ball slapped away by Van Sumeren, and the ball's going to go over on down. Whoever tried to block him on the offensive line either whiffed or he got through it in a hurry, because that was a quick 3-step drop of the pass and still batted away by Van Sumeren. Ball goes over on downs. 1st and 10 for the Garber Dukes.
Would have liked to see Wyrowski on that one, specifically maybe get a little rollout action. He's had some really good success, and he's been able to be real accurate on the pass, on the run. Yeah, we talked about Tommy Schapantz a couple weeks ago. When he gets out at run on the edge, his ability to make accurate passes on the move, and that same thing Wyrowski's been able to do. So, not second-guessing coach. It's not what we do, but I personally would have liked to have seen him roll out a little bit, because if he doesn't have the pass, he's got the legs and he's got his momentum going in that direction and trying to get that 8-yard pickup.
Well, he throws really well cross-body as well.
He does a lot of good things.
He's very talented, but it'll be 1st and 10 as Christie tries to turn around the corner. Again, making a couple of people miss. He was hit first in the backfield. Only picked up a modest gain of a couple of yards on the play, but could have been a 2-3 yard loss. So nice job by Christie. And for those that don't know the Christie story, last year he was a Bobcat.
Right.
Big brother was a Duke. In the offseason, for whatever reason, he decided to come over and join the Garber Dukes. So the defense from John Glenn is going to swarm to Christieville all night long.
Ears will be pinned back, and it's whether there's love lost or not. But you're playing football. I mean, you got to battle.
Coquillin goes underneath, and that pass is complete. And again, superb defense shutting that down, because we know what can happen with yards after catch with that young man.
Well, you know, Demarest right there on the tackle. You know, sophomore, that's a nice pop from his safety position. He got a little firework action. They were impressed with the hit.
They thought so too. As Logan Anthony comes to the near side with Tacey. And again,
Tacey's been targeted once. It was the pass interference.
You got a linebacker on Anthony right now. As they're going to go the other way, Fellows with the catch, trying to make some yards after the catch. He's stopped up on the play by number 10, Wyrowski. As, again, you put what a lot of people consider number 1 and number 2 option to the near side of the field, and you go to your number 3 option, which on a lot of other teams would be the number one option.
No, it's, you know, they've got weapons. Chrissy in the running back spot, Anthony, Braden Tacey, Max Fellows, Micah They've got different players who can make different things happen. You only got one football.
Well, and then there's a kid named Sackrider, too, that's very capable.
Yeah, you know, it's Coach Coquillard isn't going to bed at night trying to figure out what kind of weapons he has.
He's got plenty. He pushes a lot of the right buttons, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Garber Dukes.
Just under 3 minutes and 30 seconds left. Barring a turnover or a quick score, they just need to look to take this one down.
Again, they head to the outside. Again, trying to make people miss. Down the field he goes. His first 2 steps accelerating, Jason, really confused defenders because I don't believe in practice they've got anybody that can duplicate his speed.
He confuses me. I thought that was just going to be a 2nd and 7, 2nd and 6, a modest gain, and all of a sudden he makes the first guy miss. And I think there was a little blown coverage there on the Bobcat defense because it looked like 2 guys were going out with Tacey, and then all of a sudden you got Logan Anthony that's coming underneath.
Well, I think they look back to the play before where they pulled a linebacker out on Anthony, and Anthony is a mismatch for most defensive backs, let alone somebody that is of linebacker proportion. So, oh my goodness, they've got the people that think they've got the countdown. And it's coming up to 5 seconds right now. And Garber's going to take a timeout. And it's 14-0 our score with 3:14 left in our first half of play. Back in a moment on Bay County TV.
Over the years, he's put his heart into being your dad. He was always there to fix things. Now that he needs help, don't lose hope. Covenant Center for the Heart is leading the way in minimally invasive heart options for inoperable or high-risk patients, with the first and most comprehensive structural heart disease program in the Great Lakes Bay region. It's extraordinary heart care, close to home.
Back here on Bay County TV as the Garber Dukes use their first timeout, and boy, the fans.
They're entertaining.
They're getting their $6 worth here. 1st and 10 for the Garber Dukes. Quick pass to the outside. What a great catch that time. Logan Anthony goes forward for a modest gain, but he picked that up off his shoe tops. That really threw the timing of the play off, but he still pulls forward for a couple. Got a little hanky action on the field.
Right where the action was, I couldn't tell if my man Mad Max over there may have had a little extra grab of the white jersey, trying to open up or spring Logan. We'll find out here momentarily.
Holding on the offense. And the fans are up. Yep, now
great call.
They're calling it fair.
Great call.
You gotta love fans.
You know, it's the same thing when on the basketball court. You know, when you're looking at it and you know the kid goes up and he just swats down hard and it's a great block and everyone thinks they'll block and his arm action comes down and as a coach you're just going right in front of the ref.
Well, you always sell that. He got him with the body. Clean up top, got him with the body.
Absolutely.
So the penalty brings the ball back 10 yards, 3 minutes and counting left in the first half. 1st and 20 for the Garber Dukes as they still have 2 timeouts remaining in the first half. So still plenty of time for them to make activity happen here, but they get the ball to start the 3rd quarter. So I don't know if that changes Coach Coquillard's offensive thoughts at all. And nope, he's back to pass. So we're going to get this one down. And Ryowski doing a great job of tipping the ball just as it was into the fingertips of Tacey. And a great defensive play.
No, I thought Tacey may be almost expecting the ball to get there. I don't think he thought Wyrowski was going to be able to get there. I think he was thinking, where am I going to run to when I catch this ball? Nice throw by Coquillard.
And see, when you have that play versus what you saw earlier with Anthony, 6-yard play comes back a yard for the ball. If they come back even a yard for the ball here, the defender may have to go through the receiver to get it. But that's tough when you're going perpendicular across the field.
You're not going parallel?
Well, he had that little angle going, and it's really tough to flatten that out. And we're going to have another timeout just before with 1 left. So with 2:37 left in the first half, another quick break. Back in a moment as Garber's on top 14-0.
Sports give so many opportunities to kids. It gives them an opportunity to see where they fit within a team, persevere, understanding how to work with different personalities. Those are the lessons that will make you a successful adult. As a mom, you have to have an understanding of what concussions are.
Concussions are things that are treatable. If we take care of athletes, they will be able to develop and have a long, happy, healthy life.
Back here on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham along with you. Jared Doan producing, directing, and filming tonight as it's 2nd down and 20 yards to go. Back to pass, plenty of time. They go backside screen. Absolutely sniffed out by the Bobcat defense as they tried to get Potts out into space. And the defense wanted nothing to do with that. I believe that was number 54, the linebacker that came up and made that play. That's Forgash, a sophomore with the presence of mind. And they probably said, guess what, you're spying Potts.
Well, hey, Christie sneaks out of the backfield, tries to. You know, the thing is the perfect thing about that defensive call was they weren't fooled by it. So not only are they not fooled by it, they're coming full speed on the tackle. So they're not even having to let Christie get the ball and then get some momentum going one direction.
I would not be shocked if they try running here, but that goes to show what I know. That ball goes to number 1, Tacey. He's downfield. He's got the first down and more. What a long strider he is. He caught that ball, saw an angle of green grass, and he just took off upfield.
Coach Coquillard was thinking, all right, field goal. First down, we'll take a touchdown. Let's go.
But what a great pass from Coquillard. Hit him in stride, and that is a big, fast, lanky receiver with long strides.
Great hands, he targeted him a couple times. It's nice to see him get an opportunity. That was the same type of play that he had a little bit ago that Wyrowski was able to knock away. This time a completion and a first down for the Dukes.
First down and 10 for the Garber Dukes. Christie on the outside makes one person miss, jumps down inside the 15-yard line for a gain of about 4. And I really think that they are going to chew this clock up. And, of course, I was just wrong. Coach Coquillard says, Mr. Doan, you're a pretty good announcer. You stick to doing what you do and don't try and outguess the old fox.
We do not have a direct line right down to that offensive coordinator down there on the sideline. So I'm pretty sure that they're going to keep their jobs. I'm pretty sure we'll keep ours.
Well, and if I'm speculating, I'd say that they run the ball off right guard, line that thing up. As there is Coquillard banging down, and he's at the 10-yard line. Where did he line himself up, Jason?
I believe
right
that
in the
is
middle of the
down
goalpost.
The center. Well, I tell you what, this is a little challenging. They're going to call a timeout with 27 seconds left. Maybe try to get another play, a couple pass plays maybe, and then where the ball's lined
with
up
27 seconds left, Jason, they just used their last timeout. That tells me that they want 2 yards. The clock will stop while the chains move. And then if they don't pick up the first down, they have got to have that field goal unit ready on the sidelines to get out on the field and attempt to make that kick happen. So if they get the first down, they can actually get up to the line of scrimmage. They can knock that ball down and then decide what they want to do. But right now that ball is perfectly positioned where they want it for a field goal if things don't transpire. But this play is totally predicated on them picking up the first down, because if not, you're scrambling to get your field goal team on the field.
What are we looking at? 12 seconds, 15 seconds to get one unit on, one unit off?
I would say 17 or 18
to be
seconds.
Set, to allow yourself to be set, not worried about an infraction.
So I say at this point, they're going to take a shot into the end zone. If they don't get it, Coquillard's going to throw it away, and they'll go on 4th down. But again, I've been wrong way more often than I've been right. So Coquillard's going to send that thing off in the corner to Fellows. Did he get it? It's no good, as was just underthrown. It'll be 4th down. And I believe now they're going to bring out the field goal unit.
It's nice to have.
There is a little bit, Jason, of wind right now coming out of the northwest. I don't know if that knocked that ball down a little bit and caused that ball. Because if that ball's thrown another foot or two farther, I think that that's a chance for a touchdown with
I
Tacey.
think two things on that one. When you had Fellows turned around, I think the ball was already coming. I think for him to have to turn around, try to find, there's a lot of things that have to go right. It's a logistical ballet on that particular play. As Millar comes out to attempt a 28-yarder.
Kick is up, it's long enough, and it's good. Time on the field with 19.4 ticks left in the first half. A huge 3 points for the Garber Dukes, a 17-0 lead. Back for the last 19 ticks of the first half in just a moment on Bay County TV.
AAA Transport and Limousine is the Great Lakes Bay region's most reliable and requested transportation service. For over a decade, we have been helping our clients to get to their destination on time, in style, and comfort. AAA's services include non-emergency medical transport, wheelchair accessible, school transportation, and shuttle services. We strive to provide exceptional customer service and tailor our fleet to meet your individual needs. Rest assured that you are in safe hands when you ride with AAA Transport and Limousine. To set up your next appointment, give us a call at 989-893-8294.
Back here on Bay County TV, Jeff Doden and Jason Newsham along with you as important 3 points for the Garber Dukes as they'll be kicking off with 19 ticks left in the first half.
Elijah Tyson handling the kicking duties for the Dukes.
He's got quite a thunderfoot with the last 2 kicks. He's been able to plant and slip. He hasn't been able to get the thunderfoot into
No,
him.
not the thunderfoot tonight. Not the one putting it 5 yards deep in the end zone like he's capable of doing.
So he goes line drive, and that ball takes a nice Sunday one hop. And it looks like on the return, that ball goes to Kreshak.
Brody, look at that.
So Brody gets an opportunity, and Dad's sitting just in front of us to the left. And Brody had quite the baseball season again this year in summer.
Well, he's a heck of a baseball player, heck of a kid.
He's a good athlete. Good thing he's got mom's looks and her athletic ability, though.
I tell you what, all Dad is he's a chauffeur. It's the Kreshak Uber service.
He says, bring your car and bring your credit card.
We're going places.
We're traveling. 1st and 10 for the John Glenn Bobcats. Again, really stuck in not great starting field position, although this is their best starting field position of the night. That tells you what tough luck they've had in starting, as they only got once into Garber territory. A quarterback keeper, Wowski, tried to cut back across the green, makes one person miss, and that'll probably be the last play of our first half. 3 seconds, 2, 1, and 0. That's the end of our first half of play with the score. The Garber Dukes 17, the John Glenn Bobcats nothing. Back in a moment. We'll recap the first half, set the stage for the second half right here on Bay County TV.
For over 75 years, Frank's Great Outdoors has served as the Great Lakes Bay region's premier hunting, fishing, and outdoor shopping destination. What started in the mid-1940s as a roadside bait and tackle stand has now blossomed into a 30,000 square foot outdoorsman's dream shopping location. Stop by the store located at 1212 North Huron Road in Linwood, or shop online at franksgreatoutdoors.com to find everything you need to get your next outdoor adventure started.
Back at the half here on Bay County TV, sponsored by Frank's Great Outdoors. This was an interesting first half. First off, capitalizing was the Garber Dukes, but I was most impressed with the John Glenn Bobcat defense.
I think we talked about that plenty there in the first half. They've had to make some key stops at some key times, and they were able to do it. Now, they've given up 10 points out of the 17 on the defensive side of it, and even getting that 3 was a victory right there because Garber was down there in good field position, trying to attack on one more touchdown there before the first half ended, and they came up big.
Well, huge game of field position in the first half, and the John Glenn Bobcats started their best field position start of the game in the first half at the 32-yard line, and they were twice inside the 10. So really limits your play calling when your heels are back to the goal line.
Well, I'd like to see, we talked a little bit about that, getting Wyrowski a little bit more out there, throwing the ball a little bit, but maybe getting him rolling out. He's got some good wheels, and he's making some great decisions out there when to tuck it and run and when to release it. I think the other thing that, John Glenn has to get some type of an effective drive. Wyrowski had the long run, about a 40-yard run earlier in the first half, kind of had some things going. And then penalties. The penalties have to stop. For John Glenn to sustain their offensive drive, it's going to be stopping the penalties. A couple of chop blocks, 15 yards. And especially when you're at 1st and 10 or 2nd and 8, all of a sudden now you're 15 yards further back. So, the interception was really the lone turnover that they had. And I thought overall the rest of the first half, it's just getting that consistency and then quit shooting yourself in the foot.
Garber Dukes start the second half with possession, and I really think this first drive of the third quarter is the key drive for either team in this second half.
You go into halftime as John Glenn, and right now it is a 3-possession game. At the end of the day, it's a 3-possession game. So if they can limit them to either to no points or a field goal attempt and keep it at that 3-possession game to get their offense back on the field, you go down 24-0, it's still technically a 3-possession game, but that requires you 3 scores and 3 2-point conversions. And when you have had enough trouble getting the ball across half court, midfield, that just shows you the challenge that they're going to have. So, I'm looking for another drive for Garber where Coquillard, he's starting to throw the ball a little bit, but we saw that a couple weeks ago. One possession, they're going to hand it off to Christie 15 times. Another possession, they're going to let the ball go a little bit through the air. But it's a rivalry game. This first drive for these guys right here, as a chance for them to put a dagger.
Coquillard's been very comfortable. We are very excited about what's coming on in the second half. That about puts the wraps on our Frank's Great Outdoors halftime show. Back for all the second half action in just a moment on Bay County TV.
It's another fall Friday night, and your kids should be
playing high school football.
It's a fun game, and it's safer than ever.
It's safe because the rules, the coaching, and the equipment are better than ever before.
As a result, serious injuries are at an all-time low. Seriously.
And build
strong schools, lifetime memories, and tomorrow's community leaders.
And it's mother approved.
It's a great game, and we want to teach it to your kids.
Back here on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham along with you are ready to start the second half. And as we talked at the half in our Frank's Great Outdoor halftime show, this is a huge drive statement for both teams here to start the third quarter.
Well, we didn't talk about this at the halftime, but you come out even maybe with an onside kick. You got an opportunity here to try and get the ball back that way. Just something to think about.
I think your defense is playing well enough that you're going to kick this thing deep and try and make them run the field. So there's a high, short end over end kick. Going to be taken at the 25-yard line. Trying to slide up for about a 9-yard gain on the return. As
Max Fellows with
that
the...
will be Fellows.
Yeah, he kind of caught the ball, and it was like, I don't know, he didn't really get it and run with it. He thought it may, maybe they're not going to tackle me if they didn't think I didn't do anything.
He says, look what we got here. He says, I finally get a ball to return, and again, pretty good starting field position for the Garber Dukes.
But the 33.5.
We will officially call it the 34-yard line, as it'll be 1st and 10 for the Dukes. Christie the single back again. Coquillard the quarterback. Quick pitch to the outside. They've got a corner as Christie banks forward. Actually very well pursued by the defense. That looked like that could have gone big, but a gain of about 7 yards on the outside for the Garber Dukes.
Well, I think the big thing about that was the defense never gave up their position. We talk about that quite a bit. Maintaining your spot, maintaining your leverage points, forcing it back inside where you're going to have some help. So, even though he was able to get an 8-yard gain, that's still a successful stop right there for the Bobcat defense because it could have went further.
That play coming right at us looked like it had 15 to 20 yards written on it. So Second down and 2 is a great opportunity, and it looked like good footing that time for Christie as he bangs forward, cuts back across the green. Look at that double cut, outside and then back inside. Read the block. It was sealed to the outside, cut back to the inside. Huge run of about 14 yards, moved the sticks. Another 1st and 10 for the Garber Dukes.
Well, in case anybody forgot that I did stop the rain earlier, so this is a perfect cutting condition for Christie. He's going to thank me. I'm sure I'll get a nice Christmas card from the Christie family.
Well, he's known as a mutter, too. You know, he can just go north and south. He doesn't have to get to the outside and cut. He's a strong physical back, and he can make it happen inside and outside. Twins now to the wide side of the field. Look at Anthony is in the slot. They go Christie to the outside again. He's got a nice little seal again as he picks up close to 10 yards on the play. As they are really starting to see something running to the wide side of the field with the double wide receiver. They're able to seal the defense off and allow Christie the corner.
Well, they came left. They came right. So at some point, you're going to have to think they're going to have to see if that opens up the middle, because we do know Christie loves the pound. He wants to go north and south. But if you can get that defense, just again, all you're doing is playing that chess match, trying to get them thinking, am I going left? Am I going right? Am I going wide?
Well,
and then stick it right through the middle.
And when are you going to put the read option back in with it, too? You know, again, you're watching the flow of the defense. Coquillard back. He's trying to go across the middle. Fellows with a nice catch. Yards after the catch. Down into the secondary. Inside the 10-yard line to about the 9 as he makes it happen. And again, Coquillard finds those receivers in a nice little slot. They settled in to a spot, a hole in the defense, and the yards after the catch were fantastic.
Great read by Coquillard, but fellas, I don't know if he cut his route off short, but he just said, you know what, this looks like a nice spot. I just want to sit right here, and I'm going to trust Coquillard to give me a nice spiral, nice tight spiral, and let's see what we can do with it.
1st and goal from just inside the 10. Coquillard back in the short gun. They give that to Christie. Christie makes it look easy. Back cut across the green. Tickle in the goal line. Into the end zone. It's a Garber Duke touchdown. 9:26 left. So basically you're talking 2.5-minute drive here to start this third quarter with a statement.
But we also talked about that. They like to go at times with nonstop runs. Other times they like to get that pass. This time was a good mix of getting Christie to the outside, letting him use his speed, trying to get to the edge, mix it in with a pass. Fellows, now you're opening and making that defense really have to dial it in and guess.
Extra point attempt for Millar. And they got the block. So we've got time out of the field now with 9:26 left in our third quarter of play, and our score, the Garber Dukes 23 and the John Glenn Bobcats nothing. Back in a moment on Bay County TV.
Village Towing and Auto Repair of Caucaulin and Bay City is here to help you in your hour of need with fast and friendly service. With over 30 years of towing experience, we know how to get the job done quickly and safely. From big to small, we do it all. Give us a call at 989-684-9607 for all your towing needs.
All right, back here on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham along with you. Here comes the kickoff from the Garber Dukes, another low line drive kick that is going to be picked up inside the 5-yard line and trying to slide forward and then being pushed back before the 20-yard line. As again, the John Glenn Bobcats are going to be starting deep in their own end.
No, I think the hesitation again, I don't know if he was trying to see if he could get his blocker set up that time, because he got it after the little bubble, and then all of a sudden it was like, okay, now I'm going to go. And then by that time, the Dukes defense had recovered in time to at least get some good pursuit.
So back here is, again, if the John Glenn Bobcats are going to be in a position to come back in this game, Jason, I really believe they've got to make some points happen on this drive.
Yeah, after that drive that the Dukes had to start the half. As Wyrowski.
And they try to strip the ball, and they do strip it. I believe that the Bobcats were able to get their hands back on that ball as he pulled that thing just enough away from his body. And I believe Raycon trying to get that body was Sapansky.
Yeah, Noah Rylance quickly for the Bobcats jumping on it to preserve this possession. But we talked about how important it was for Garber to come out and set the tone. They did. Now it's a chance. John Glenn had a nice start with that first play from scrimmage. Now they got to build on it. They got to really try and keep the ball in Wierowski's hand, either through the air or letting him do what he just did, is pull that out at the last second on that read option.
And that is imperative for them to have Wierowski to have some success here on this drive, to loosen up the Garber defense and give them a different key. As they tried a couple of hard counts to draw the defense off. And look who gets it up out of the middle of the pack with a smothering tackle, and that is Alex Van Sumeren.
Yeah, Van Sumeren was one of 3 guys that were in there. It was a high snap, which when you've got 3 guys like him and Meisner coming in there real quick, two of those 3 are 6'5", 6'6", 275, 285, and when by the time you even give that ball to your running back, it is lights out.
And I like the way that they move Van Sumeren around on that D-line. He's head up over the center right now, and that is a tall task for the center. Again, Van Sumeren tries to slant to the right. They go away from him and move it to the right side of the offensive line, and there's just not a whole lot going on there.
They're getting Connor Schmidt in motion there on the read option. And again, are you waiting for the right time? Are you waiting for the right time to give it to him? Are you going to keep trying to bait that defense? But I tell you what, you talked about being able to move Van Sumeren. Him and Meisner are interchangeable, and they're both big. And when you think you got an easy out with one, and you're still trying to head scratch going, well, there's another guy that's 6'5", 270, and he doesn't like me right now. Well, he wants to get in my backfield.
And Westfield made a great read as well to shut that play down. Motion to the wide side of the field. They're going to go for a home run, ball down the field, just out of the fingertips of the wide receiver.
I'm going to go on record and say I agree, and I don't do it very often. I will agree with the John Glenn. I thought there was a little bit of a hole. Not so much the face guard, but definitely a little bit of a touch.
Now, Coach, when you say there was a little bit of a hold, that's where I look at that and go, did that little bit of a hold affect the ability to catch the football? And it absolutely does, as he could not complete the catch by that maybe 1 yard. If he's 1 yard farther down the field, that's a big play. So you got to think about that. And there's another short kick, and that's coming down, and that ends up hitting a Garber Duke, and that will come back over and be probably the best special teams play of the night thus far for the John Glenn Bobcats.
Now on that play right there, he's putting the block out there, so you've got, Garrett Hayes out there blocking, and, Max Fellows back there. Is that one of those where they call it fire, where they scream and try to make sure everyone's aware that, hey, we got to get moving, we got to get out of the way? But how often do you know it's going to hit right behind you and not only bounce right back to you?
When you hear that word fire, you have got to locate the football. That is, at that point, Jason, your first and only priority. But again, it happened so quick as it took that wedge right back into him. Wierowski's trying to make it happen, and an incomplete pass.
I love me some Max Fellows. I've had an ability to coach him for a couple years, and the one thing I will say, when he yells fire, there's a good chance that it's really quiet.
Yes.
He's a great kid, soft-spoken. Love the kid.
Burrows on defense on that last play as well, as they had that pretty well sniffed out. Again, the defensive front four is really putting forth great pressure and not allowing those second and third options.
Right, and by getting that pressure on Wierowski, that's why I'd like to see him roll out a little bit more, give him an opportunity as we got trips to the short side here.
As again, here comes the pressure. Wierowski makes the first miss. He's got 2 blockers in front of him, and he gets out of bounds as he saw the Garber Dukes just bearing down the straights. Well, and that was Caleb Christie.
Caleb was just coming over to say, hey, Wyatt, remember me from last year? We were teammates. Remember me?
Yeah. Wanted to just say hi.
Well, Wyatt wants to finish the game, and it's again, you're picking your battles. Let's just get out of bounds and make it third and short versus possibly trying to go up.
You got Wierowski, though, making the first person miss multiple times tonight to allow that play to be extended.
You're watching this on film on Sunday, and Coach Caprilla's going, how did we not have multiple sacks in this game? You know, how did you not have multiple sacks in the film room?
Well, and I credit the two offensive linemen, too, that were able to both just step out and lead the way for an 8-yard gain. 3rd down and 2.
Great call. Great
Direct
call.
Snap, falling right straight back, and Ryalski moves the sticks forward down to about the 25-yard line. You feel a little change in the momentum after that turnover.
You do, but, you know, you're also looking at 6 minutes and 48 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. They're going to need to try and get a quick score here to give them that momentum, but not only give them, but give that sideline a shot of confidence. Give the student section over here a shot of confidence, and give these parents something to talk about. We haven't heard the parents.
Well, and what you've got now, though, is you're halfway through this 3rd quarter, and you're running out of possessions to make things happen. Ryalski gets hit by Van Sumeren. There won't be a missed tackle there. When he gets his mitts on you, that party over.
If he's able to lock his hands around your waist, I don't know if there's a better thing to do besides drop. That's like a fire.
Yep.
You stop, drop.
You might think you're big and you might think you're strong, but you're going to get yourself hurt if you try and pull away from the big dancing bear.
Ryalski comes over to the sideline, flapping the old shoulder pad that was. So I would like to see John just a little more sense of urgency, you know, with these play calls. Maybe have 2 or 3 plays called, based on what you're getting on this one.
You're saying maybe a little tempo going here in the middle of the 3rd quarter.
Just try to mix it up a little bit.
Okay.
Try to have some fun with it.
Ryalski again makes a couple of people miss. Look at his downfield block. They're moving that stack, and there's a gain of about 9 on that play as he just continued to drive with the legs and move the pile.
You know, we talk a lot about Caleb Chris's ability to keep his legs moving, and Ryalski have been very impressed with his ability. Impressed with his ability to take that first hit. Now, unless it's a Van Sumeren taking you by the waist, he's able to take those first hits and strong enough to get away.
So we've got a gain on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 3 yards to go. 5 minutes and counting left in our 3rd quarter. Down into the edge of the red zone right now. John Glenn with their deepest penetration of this football game. Ryalski gets the high snap, and he is hit at the line of scrimmage. Looks like number 35 comes in first on the play. Burrows.
Lazarovich with my man, yes. My Dan Laz. Funny story up in Mackinac Island a week or so ago. Garber shirt being worn, and a guy, one of the stores says, "Are you from Essexville?" He says, "My nephew plays for Garber," and he tried to pronounce the name too.
It's Laz. It's properly pronounced as Laz.
We already shortened it, buddy.
As what do we got happening right now? We have officials timeout.
Officials timeout. Little you come here, little captain conversation, and send them back to their corners and get ready for this 4th down and 3.
Again, it's hard because the traditional press box has always been on the other side of the field, so Ed Phillipson is addressing his penalties and his stoppages of play to the other side. Now, with their arms crossed, that just says we're killing the play at the end, regardless whether it's a change of possession or a 1st down. So the old crossbone cross of the hands is just telling everybody that the play clock will die at the end of this, whether it's coming frontwards or backwards, in and out of the hands. I loved the play call that time to number 5, Mayer, as you start with that like you're coming up the middle, and then it's a little jump pass, a little Tebow-esque. But unfortunately, it just slipped through Mayer's fingers, and the ball will go over and down. And if you're a John Glenn Bobcat fan, that is tough because you had a very, very methodical drive down the field that looked like it was going to end in points.
Well, it was. You know, they had a couple of opportunities, but again, you're talking about 1 or 2 plays that go in that negative yardage, and all of a sudden your play call has to change. So Coach Horton is changing a couple things. Now, again, we'd like to see a little bit more tempo with these guys as well. Now Garber's got a chance to really put this game on ice if they're able to take this ball down the field and put some points on the board.
Well, you're going to see a lot of Christie now. Christie, again, he cuts back across the grain. he senses that spot to move to so very well. Saw the outside seal, just planted that foot and cut upfield and got about a gain of about 4.
You know, if he goes 4 or 5 yards every pop, you know, I mean, that's going to break a defense's back. You know, and we've seen Coquillard a couple times with his arm. He's can break a defensive back.
Well,
so it's going to be
the kind of
interesting
stuff that makes Jeff Beisel smile, because he says, you give me 3 yards on every play, and I'll march right down the field.
And I will take 12 minutes.
Yes.
I love time of possession, and I will onside kick you.
Well, and I don't think that it's too early in the ball game, Jason, to start playing that tempo. As, again, Christie gets to the outside. They do a pretty good job of neutralizing him. But if I'm Coquillard, I'm not going to even consider snapping that ball until the back judge starts that last 5 seconds, because now that clock management says I'm going to even shorten this game even more and limit your opportunities to touch the football.
You know, mainly as a basketball coach, one of the things that we used to do when we were up 11, 12 points, fourth quarter, a couple minutes left, we looked for what we call the kill shot. You know, we maybe a 3-pointer, maybe run a play to try to really send a message and keep our crowd into it. So maybe Coquillard on this one gets a chance to let the ball fly a little bit.
Now they're floating that thing downfield. What a great hands catch that time by Tacey. As that ball hung up in the air, and the most frustrated person in the world right now is number 22, Nesbitt, because he thought, man, I had great defense, thought I was going to be able to knock that ball away, and the next thing you know,
Fellows with the nice catch there. You know, the ball seemed to float up there a little bit. And, you know, his defensive back was going, man, if I could, and Fellows goes, I'll take it.
If you look around, though, you got to go far and wide from this area to find 3 better quality starting receivers than what they've got right here at the Essexville Garber Dukes.
No, you're right. You can't say enough about him. And then you got Tacey, who we talk about a little bit. We talk about little flippy-do.
And that ball down the field is going to be a huge gain, and then they're going to have a horse collar at the end, which is going to add another 15 yards onto it. How about that little trickeration?
Well, yeah, I call it a flippy-do because, it's, a little trick play, little flippy-doos. So now we talked about this before, going back to the old IBM, you make the call. So on a horse collar, it is a horse collar if you drag down and pull backwards.
That's it.
So if
you can grab the horse collar, you can grab the back of the collar. Now it extends down past the collar to actually where the name is on the back of the jersey.
Okay.
But as long as that player does not get whiplashed backwards, that is where the penalty has occurred. If you grab that and they fall forward, it's not that whiplash effect, and therefore it is not a horse collar. And good to see that he's off the field.
So what signal did he just give?
I did not see that, but it had to have been horse collar.
Okay. So when you go up toward your neck
you
and you
pull
down
to the side, and
okay.
And now he did give it to us on this side.
All right.
Result of the play will be a first down after the penalty.
Well, we talked, they're setting him up for something. Christie had that play a couple of times in this half, and he was able to get it for productive yards. Now, as a defensive back, what do you do when you see him get the ball? You're going to leave your target.
Well, and that's exactly right. They knew that they were leaking the whole game. You have that thing out to Anthony. Anthony goes forward. He's inside the 5. What a great opportunity.
There was 3 different things going on right there.
Yep, that was follow the leader. He's on a Honda. Who's got the ball?
Well, he fakes it to Christie going one direction. He had the option runner himself. He decides, hey, you know what, Logan, you haven't touched the ball in a couple of minutes. Let me throw the ball to you real quick.
And I say that was a planned pass because that looked like a lateral pass from here. So you have to be certain you complete that. On a lateral pass, that's a live football, even on an incompletion.
Here's what's funny is Anthony's just standing there, and, the defense is trying to follow the ball around, and he's just going, okay, no one's got me.
I think he was known as the outlet receiver, but very effective as he got 8 yards on the play.
A nice play call, nice play design by the Dukes.
Coquillard there, and they're going to have a holding on the offense, and that's going to back things up 10 as they were short of the goal line. Looked like it would have resulted in a first down, but
there won't be any discussion in this one as the white hat threw that flag, and he does not have to consult with anybody else on his call.
He was pretty confident in what he saw. The 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul will back it up with just 59.3 ticks left in our third quarter of play.
Hell, I think he may have threw the flag further than where the hold was.
Well, actually, when you're throwing the flag in that situation, your intent with throwing the flag is get it as close to the spot of the infraction, because you try and use that flag to know where you mark the penalty.
Now, what I saw him do is when he went up to the flag, he actually took it and tossed it a little bit further when there was no players around, so he could get himself a more accurate
spot.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. Well,
so,
it's not
down
a
14.
damaging hold, though. It's not a damaging hold. You're still.
Well, you go 2nd and 14 from 1st and goal, so it does make a difference, but Coquillard, as he bangs forward and he picks up a nice gain of about 7 or 8, he stays on his feet and he slides down to about just outside the 10-yard line. So did a nice job. He picked up about 6.
I need to clarify, not that it was a or a bad play, but the situation, a lot of times if you're going 10 yards automatic, versus the spot call. The spot call really makes that a more manageable 2nd down or 3rd down,
I knew
or
what
even
you
a
were
1st down.
talking about,
Well,
Coach.
of course you do.
We are coming to the end of our third quarter of play as the third quarter has just flown by indeed. At the end of 3, it's the Garber Dukes 23 and the John Glenn Bobcats nothing. Back in a moment for the final 12 right here on BCTV.
Is your pain holding you back from things you enjoy, like playing with your grandchildren or participating in a sport? At Collier Chiropractic, we specialize in neck pain, back pain, headaches, or sciatica that won't go away. If you've tried chiropractic, you've tried physical therapy, you've gone to your medical doctor with no results, or you take medication and it doesn't even touch your pain, then put this number in your phone, give us a call, see how we are different at Collier Chiropractic Bay City.
Back here on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham, along with you, Jared Doan, filming the activity. As we start the fourth quarter, we're at the Essexville Garber Dukes banging on the door, up 23-0 in a game right now that is down to just 12 minutes of activity. Coming to the outside is a little reverse to Anthony. He's going to be able to turn the corner. Looks like he's going to get into the end zone. It's a Garber Duke touchdown.
Great play. They've been running the pitch all second half. They've really been a focus on that pitch. And why not give Anthony the ball when you get that defensive entire shift going one direction? Let Anthony use that speed that he already has.
I'm going to tell you a lot of very impressive things done by Coquillard tonight. For somebody that has really been limited snaps up until the last week and a half, he really looks comfortable tonight.
Oh, absolutely. I tell you what, you would have never guessed a second game, as a starter here. He's looked comfortable. He's making the right decisions. Millar with the extra point attempt. Up and good.
Time out of the field with 11:52 left in the fourth quarter of play. 30-0. Garber over John Glenn. Back in a moment on BCTV. Inside, outside, or even in your home, there are lots of ways to enjoy amazing food from Bay City Bills. Our dining room is ready for you, and so is our new outdoor seating. And we are ready for you with takeout too. Stop in to Bay City Bills at 1215 Michigan Avenue or find us on Facebook or at www.baycitybills.com to see our full menu. Back here on Bay County TV, as we'd like to thank our sponsors again, Covenant Healthcare, Frank's Great Outdoors, Collier Chiropractic, AAA Transport, and Village Towing and Bay City Bills, as that ball is going to sail into the end zone. As great pursuit again. That was a great angled kick, went right to the teeth of where Garber was going on their slant package. So they'll bring the ball out to the 20-yard line again. Not great starting field position for the John Glenn Bobcats. And really, Jason, that has been one of the stories of the game tonight.
No, they're going to look back at this game. You're going to talk about a couple of things. You're going to talk about some of the key penalties. You're going to talk about the field position, and you're really going to talk about missed opportunities. And I think, again, you're looking at the score and you're going, oh, it's 30-0. It wasn't close. It really was a much closer game. The Bobcat defense has played well. I would like to see this offense a little tempo in this fourth quarter and try and get something moving.
Rowski, single back. Trying to come downfield again, stopping, starting twice, trying to make things happen, and he just gets rocked at the line of scrimmage. And I think that they're going to, that second hit might have cost the Garber defense 15 yards.
Yeah, it's tough, without being able to watch the replay of it. But the thing is you're in pursuit. You're going fast. You're going hard. And it doesn't make it any easier when you're 285 pounds and you're pursuing the ball. He goes down, and it's again,
your
you're at that
momentum's
situation.
Taking you there.
Yeah,
but you got to pull it off. But much needed 15 yards to help flip the field, as they'll bring that ball out to the 36-yard line. At that point, it'll be 1st and 10 for the John Glenn Bobcats, as the Garber Dukes are going, hey, that ball's up over the 35. We're not used to defending here. So they got to back them up. And let's see if the John Glenn Bobcats can do something to add to this free 15 yards they've been granted.
I maybe get a couple play calls. That way or else you kind of go up to the line and see what he can do. Read that defense, figure out a couple things, get him rolling to the outside. Get him man in motion again.
Howski trying to go to the outside, and he is just stuffed by number 7. Hotelling gets there to really take away the cutback, as well as other great pursuit from the Garber Dukes.
Well, Jeff, as an official and as a coach, you're in a rivalry game. The game, don't want to say it's out of contest right now, but the reality of it is it's a dire situation. So now you got to start making sure you keep your team, you keep your players the heat check. You need to make sure that they're not going to do anything that's going to put them in situations on late hits, on that extracurricular activities. You want a good, hard-fought football game. Let's face it, that's what we were looking for.
Cleanliness is certainly important. Trying the sweep action down the field. The ball goes to number 11 on the play, and that is Connor Schmidt, as he gets his hands on the ball for one of the few times tonight, and modest gain on the play of a couple of yards. It'll be 3rd down and a long 7-yard-to-go situation here. 10-20 and counting left in the fourth.
Well, Schmidt's been in motion a lot, mainly in the second half and even late in the second quarter, and give him a bone every now and then. And again, what that's going to do for Rowski is going to open him up. So now if you tuck that ball back, you get that defensive rotation sliding or slanting the other way, and maybe you can get yourself back on the outside.
Well, you keep the defense honest by doing that. You want to make sure that backside does not over pursuit of the football. And now they're going to pass downfield. Rowski probably wishes he had that pass back, because he had an open receiver in the neighborhood. Yeah. Could not bring that in.
Watching Rylance on the attempt there on the slant, had enough. He's coming right at us. He would have had enough for the first down. So, it's unfortunate right there, because he has been pretty much on spot with his passes.
So deep to return the kick will be Max Fellows.
Hoping. And I tell you what, I can tell you Coach Coquiller turned up his volume there a little bit on his helmet and said, hey, you need to scream fire if it's a situation like that again.
That ball is away. And again, that is a short kick. Takes a little bit better bounce for the John Glenn Bobcats. But the ball is going to be set into play at the 34-yard line. At that point, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Garber Dukes. And with 9:43 left in the ball game, Jason, we're a touchdown away from a tips situation and a running clock. And based on what we've seen in the game, that really is surprising to both of us, I think.
I think so. I wouldn't have predicted that. Again, going in at halftime 17-0. The defense playing well. But again, we talked about that even before the first half ended. We saw a lot of hands on the hips on that defensive side. And they're also young. I think that's the other thing you got to remember. We're talking about sophomores. They have a freshman, Sean Westlock, out there. A freshman getting not acclimated just to this game.
Quality time.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. He's been out there. He's been out there as a starter. So, but you can only do so much when you keep getting pounded and pounded and pounded.
So again, they play very, very well, and nice blocking downfield. Both the combatant defensively and the wide receiver, Logan Anthony, both bat each other on top of the head when they're done. And nice play after about a 3-yard gain. It'll be 2nd down and 7, but you know that in between the sidelines is where the Garber Dukes want to keep that ball right now. Do not want to step out of bounds. Do not want to do anything to stop this clock from happening. The only time they want it to stop is on a 1st down or a score.
Well, Coach Coquilla still has a lot of different things. They do have Frankie Muth next week, so this is an opportunity for them to even work on a couple of things as well. And he likes to leave the ground there, and sometimes that doesn't work out nearly as well as you would hope so.
And we got a penalty flag again at the end of that play. So we're going to find out now what this is. Again, there was a whole lot of dark blue hats to the football. We're going to have a dead ball, personal foul against the defense. Has free 15 yards for the Garber Dukes.
Yeah, we just talked about that too. You know, it's just about, hey, play hard, play to the whistle. You know, if you get, you know, and again, as the official, you're not going to just throw your flag. It's going to be something that you deem ignorant. Let's just call it what it is. Yeah, safety. Yeah. Just don't be ignorant, negligent. You know, it's, you know, we want these guys to be able to play next week. They want you to be able to play next week at the end of the day.
These flags are all predicated by what is our highest priority, and that is safety. Now, somebody said make sure you hit the line judge. Well, the line judge is on the far side of the field. The head linesman is on this side of the field. So they have not attended the officiating 101 class.
I'm pretty sure that everyone just thinks they're all refs.
Yeah, they make us laugh when that's the case. And we're going to have timeout. Essexville Garber Dukes. We'll take a break and be back in a moment on Bay County TV.
You treat your family with extraordinary care every day. Which is why when it comes to their health, more of you choose Covenant Healthcare. We specialize in extraordinary care. From diagnosis to recovery. From babies to grandparents. Learn more about our extraordinary bariatrics program. Sign up for our free seminar.
Back on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan, Jason Newsham, and Jared Doan, our trifecta of fun here on a Friday night. Homecoming, week number 7. Even though Tommy Shapansky doesn't get the quarterback this week, he still gets the accolades at halftime.
I tell you what, you know, we saw him before the game, and I look out there, I see number 11 fully dressed. He says, Coach, my last homecoming game.
As now they fake again, and now they're going to go downfield with a perfectly thrown ball to Anthony. I don't even need to look at the number. I could just tell by the way he's flying down the field. What an absolutely perfectly thrown ball from Coquillard. Well, and a penalty flag in the defensive backfield side of the football.
I tell you, the pass was perfect. I was looking at Fellows first because he was the first receiver that cleared out over there, and Anthony just kept running that sideline route, and I'm like, oh. Yeah.
So what we've got is the touchdown is good. Dead ball personal foul after the score. So the touchdown is good. We are now going to be in a running clock situation, and I believe they're going to assess that 15 on the kickoff. And, boy, just a tough sequence for the John Glenn Bobcats.
No, it was a tough sequence of events. A great pass by Coquilla. Let's not knock that. But again, you know, you put a lot of pressure on that defense all game long. I thought they played a great game. The score doesn't necessarily tell the tale of the John Glenn defensive effort tonight.
So they established the pitch sweep, and then they fake that, and Coquillard keeps. Then they fake that, and they go counter action. Now they fake that, and they go deep with a pass. So they've run about 5 variations off that same play. The extra point is up, and it's good. Maybe the last time out on the field for the rest of the game. If the Bobcats can't put it in the end zone, we'll take a quick break and be back for the final 8:09 of a running clock situation in just a moment on BCTV.
There's just one place where students are students first. and athletics are played with purpose and perspective, that place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
As they move that ball forward down the field, the 15-yard penalty on the dead ball unsportsmanlike conduct. No, it was just a personal foul. It's the same 15 yards, so it'll be from the 45. I've just been told by the Golden Tablet of the Times, Coquillard 14 of 18 for 220 yards. I would say that's a pretty nice night.
It's not bad for your second start, and it's also not a bad way to prepare for your third start, which will be next week, as that one is sent by Tyson to Hampton Township.
Indeed, that thing flies down, and as soon as this ball is set down and the first snap takes place, we're in a running clock situation, and we will see this game go very quickly in the last 8 minutes.
Well, now we got a running clock, so the clock will only stop.
We got a timeout on the field, as Garber looks like they're going to go with their maybe second group personnel, or maybe they were not certain what came out there, but we're going to see what's going on. We're going to take another quick break and be back in a moment on Bay County TV.
Ow, ow, ouch! My hip, my knee, my joints feel out of whack. Ow, ow, oh my! The pain, I can't take it anymore.
Back here on Bay County TV as the defense made a couple of adjustments, I think, a couple of changes, maybe some fresh bodies in there. Looks like some of the starters still remain for the Garber Dukes. And we've got some movement on the offensive line, and one of the John Glenn fans decides that she's excited that their team has a 5-yard penalty. She was hoping when that flag came out that it was potentially going to be against.
When you see the 6'6" guy out there, that's the only person you see. You didn't see what drew the 6'6" guy across the line.
But that clock will begin rolling once again as we're at 7:50 left in the ball game.
This is good opportunity. It's a homecoming. It's a rivalry game. If you're able to get some fresh bodies, maybe some kids who don't see a lot of time during the season, what better opportunity than in this type of game?
Well, especially your seniors that have worked hard for 4 years. Ryowski sends that ball downfield, and that ball is nearly intercepted on the play. And I would say that was pretty close to textbook defense right there, Jason.
He had the inside leverage. The ball never got to the outside shoulder where he was hoping that Rylance would be at. It was almost intercepted. How is that? That's a no-brainer. You're looking at that one going textbook. You had everything turned, and you almost came up with another INT.
And he looked back. I think John Glenn was fortunate, even though I thought that was a very well-thrown ball, but that could have been picked off.
I thought so, too. It's one of the things that I've been impressed with Borowski is his arm strength, is he's been able to get that ball out there. He's got some nice velocity, some nice zip on it, just not enough of it.
Accuracy along with the arm strength. I mean, you can throw the ball, 100 miles, but to be able to have the right touch, that is a beautiful throw and catch. As that ball went to number 23
Noah
on the play.
Rylance on the catch. I like that kid. I see him running his routes, and he runs them hard. He is an excellent, it's a senior, Noah Rylance. Wyrowski is a senior, Rylance a senior.
And it's a 6-yard play. Really, Jason, opens your playbook on 3rd and 4, whereas at 3rd and 9 or 10, you've only got one page instead of 4 or 5.
Right, absolutely. I think you go back to what you're able to do, what you want versus what you want to do, and what you can do. Everybody wants to do the right thing. Down and distance.
Rahowski's looking for something, and there's a little bit of a hold, and could have been a 15 at the end.
They're going to get him for it, too.
Would have potentially been offsetting. So I think really the head linesman gave the John Glenn Bobcats a little bit of a break. And again, I don't know that he saw it, if he passed on it. There's a lot going on in front of you as a head linesman. And we know we got the 15 at the end, and that was a good call.
You're trying to figure out where he went out. You know, you got to get a placement on, especially when it's close to the sticks for the first down. You know, and then all of a sudden you pick your head up and you got a little extracurriculars.
Yeah, it's people think, you know, I'm sitting 20 feet up, 15 rows into the stands. You see a lot of things that are impossible. You know, you can get straight lined. You've got your primary that you're trying to do, plus watch your secondary in your zone, and it's not exacting science. Now we're going to have movement on the offense.
Everybody was a little bit off. I think maybe the center held on to the ball. I would say with as many guys that were moving, when that ball not moving.
You're wise beyond your years, brother. That's exactly what happened.
It's a good chance. It's kind of like a kid getting the outlet ball in basketball and taking off before dribbling 3 steps and going, oh, I got to dribble. And then you have a referee going, did he just do that? And then all of a sudden the whistle's blown 3 seconds after.
Well, if they're young and it's at JJK and Hoops, we'll probably teach as we continue the game.
Amen. We'll break it down for them.
First down at 15 yards to go for the John Glenn Bobcats. Trying to make a late score here to get that Ryowski with a quick pass to the outside. Nice
Schmidt.
catch and trying to make something happen after it.
Yeah.
And that is Schmidt out there trying to get away, but the defense really broke that play down for a gain of only about 2 yards on the play.
Well, now you're talking about how important that offside penalty was rather than being 2nd and 8. Again, you're looking at what you want to be able to do, what can you do, what you're capable, what your teams are capable of doing, what have you been able to be successful with. A lot of people don't sit there and practice a lot of 2nd and 13 plays.
Well, like I said, you know, the playbook's not quite as expansive when you're talking that spot. 4.5 minutes left in the game. Jet sweep coming to the near side of the field.
Oh.
Look at how well that play got defended. Number 20 on the play, Bebo, came out. His big responsibility was to force that runner to come back to the inside where the backside pursuit just came and finished it off.
He did. Again, we're talking textbook. We saw it a couple of times. On both sides, honestly, both teams have been able to do a really nice job. We saw the defense of John Glenn really wall up when Christie was making a run that we thought was going to get 15. We saw Garber. That was a perfectly executed play. Stay disciplined. Stay your ground. Hold your spot. Keep your shoulders. I mean, coaches say it all the time.
But again, when you see somebody that is not going to give up the edge and contain, and then you see the backside pursuit coming to the football, you just have to be happy as a coach. Ryowski sets and throws that ball, and there is a shot, and they're going to throw a late flag on that. I believe that was a good flag.
Oh, I do as well.
I think that the umpire turned around, and the umpire was closest to it, but the umpire really didn't get a great look at that play.
I think, well, this is going to be an opportunity right here. We're in a running clock situation. We keep hearing tips being thrown out there. So the only time that a clock is going to stop in a game that's 35 points or greater is, as you call it, tips. Timeouts, injuries, penalties, and scores. So in this situation, on this particular hit, now is this going to be a chance? Not a chance, but an opportunity where they're going to call it targeting? Is it? Did you see something that would warrant the targeting to the neck or the head area?
I actually did not get a great look at it to see if it was hitting defenseless. I don't think it was helmet-led. It looked shoulder-led to me, but
it happens quick.
It was so fast. And again, people are thinking, man, the umpire was so close, but the umpire was spinning around at that point. The umpire, when there's a passing play, will move up to within 3 yards of the line of scrimmage. And his job at 3 yards of the line of scrimmage is to make sure the quarterback, if he's passing, gets rid of that ball before it goes over the line. Or if any offensive linemen go past him, then you've got an eligible downfield.
So there's multiple responsibilities on every official that's out there. You know, it's no different. And I love going back to use my basketball references, but when you're on the basketball court, you have a primary responsibility. And even though a travel may be near you, if you're not looking at it, it makes it awfully tough.
down because right now some frustrated fans are shouting stuff that I don't ever like to hear at the high school level.
Well, no, and it's unfortunate. You know, it's a passionate game, and we talked about this not even 5 minutes ago. You know, it's about maintaining your cool, maintaining your composure. And as a coaching staff, I've been in games. All right, I've coached in games.
So now what we're going to see is we're going to have a personal foul against the defense. So what they're going to do is they're going to probably mark that 15-yard penalty off. Then we've got a dead ball unsportsmanlike. And then I think we're going to maybe have a second dead ball unsportsmanlike. They threw 2 flags at separate times.
So they're going to take it 15 on the personal foul against the Dukes.
Yep. And now they're going to call the unsportsmanlike penalty and bring it back 15.
Well, he's just trying to get his steps, and he's got his Fitbit on out there. He's just, did I get it right or should I do it one more time? I only got 30 steps that time.
So you had a live ball that they assessed and then a dead ball penalty that they assessed. And at this point, the officials can't do anything right. And, you know, I'm glad that there was only one unsportsmanlike penalty against somebody out on the field. I don't even want to speculate who it was against. So now the clock is starting, and the best thing, Jason, that can happen to this game is that it gets over really quick.
Well, you know, I hate this. And again, as a coach and as someone that's been in games like this, heated games, hot games, you want to maintain it shows more about your character and your quality. You know, as a athlete, as a student athlete, you know.
Schmidt in motion. The ball goes to Wyrowski, and he is hit as the John Glenn Bobcats are really not able to put a whole lot together right now.
Carry your blocks, carry it to the whistle. You're playing to the whistle. So you hear it no matter what sport you're in, play to the whistle. I've got. So we're sitting here on a 2nd and
11.
I'd say Garber was going way back yonder. I'm not quite sure what they were waiting on. So
that was
pretty far huddle.
Real prevent. 2nd down at 11. 2:20 and counting left in a running clock situation.
Schmidt back in motion.
Schmidt takes it around the corner, and again, very well strung out by the Garber Duke defense. And again, we're in a running clock situation. He did not get out of bounds, but even had he done that, we would be done. We're at 2 minutes and counting left of the game. It's 3rd down and 9. So you got to think and expect that if this is not a first down in the next 2 plays, that it will be just a quick knee and
victory formation.
And everybody will head to the prospective locker rooms after they shake hands.
I tell you, John Glenn, again, I'd like to see Wyrowski finish this game strong. I would still like to see him get on the scoreboard, but they've got a big game. If they fall to 3-4 with this loss, again, they're not out of the playoff situation. It makes it a little bit more challenging for sure, but they're not out of the situation at all. So it'll be, they got to be able to regroup after this game. No one's going to want to lose. We know that. That's not what they're here for. They're not here to lose. Yeah, they played their hearts out. Give them credit. I'm giving the Bobcats, especially this defensive side of it, a lot of credit with what's going on. They played a great game. Didn't work out. Okay, it happens in football. It happens in sports. You win, you lose. It's the way that it goes. But the reality of it is, at the end of the day, they still control an opportunity. If they can put 2 more wins together, Swan Valley next week would be the first one, and that's going to be a tight one for Coach Horton, as he's talking about going right to play against his son, who's a star over there at Swan Valley. So that's going to be a great game for him as a father-son opportunity. Obviously, he wishes he was on this sideline. But the reality of it is they still control some opportunities here, as the Dukes will go to 5-2 and get 1 win closer to the automatic playoff berth.
And they got their hands full next week as they've got Frankenmuth. Ryalski goes down with a beautiful pass, and that's complete on the play to number 5, Meyer. And that comes with 14 seconds left. They might not even be able to get another play off, as that was a great connection.
Tim Tebow.
And again, that play worked to perfection, and they've done that in the past. But 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1-0. That's all there is.
There is no more.
The final score in the ball game: the Essexville Garber Dukes 37 and the John Glenn Bobcats nothing. Back in a moment. We'll put the wraps on this one right here on BCTV.
Is your pain holding you back from things you enjoy, like playing with your grandchildren or participating in a sport? At Collier Chiropractic, we specialize in neck pain, back pain, headaches, or sciatica that won't go away. If you've tried chiropractic, you've tried physical therapy, you've gone to your medical doctor with no results, or you take medication and it doesn't even touch your pain, then put this number in your phone, give us a call, see how we're different at Collier Chiropractic Bay City.
Back with the Collier Chiropractic post-game show here. Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham along with you. We saw the first half of football. We watched the first drive of the second half, which we decided going into the second half was going to be the drive of the game, good, bad, or indifferent for both teams. And the Garber Dukes came out with a successful drive with points, and they really controlled the activity in the second half.
I believe in the second half that the Garber offense was just a little bit better than the John Glenn defense, and I think the John Glenn defense played a great game. I thought they left their heart out there. They're young in spots. They grew up a lot tonight. There's a lot of things going on out there. And again, nobody wants to lose a football game. But it really goes back on the flip side of it in the second half. The adjustments that Coach Coquillard made on the offensive side of it, just being able to show different activity, different actions, but not just show it, execute them. They were able to execute. That last pass from Coquillard to Anthony was probably one of the finer passes that you're going to see in a high school football game, because Anthony, as fast as he is, caught him in stride. I mean, it wasn't underthrow. He didn't have to stop. He wasn't over it. I mean, that was a perfectly thrown pass, but it was set up off of 4 other options. I love when you're able to run one play repeatedly and the defense not know where the ball is going to be.
Well, that's really what I feel was the difference in the second half. Coquillard had those options off of the same, started with a basic sweep and ran 5 different play formations off that. But as you just mentioned, not just run them, but they executed those,
right.
And that is the key. You can run them all night long, but if you're not successful with them, that's kind of a waste of time, and they did it to perfection.
They had a real nice blend of mixing in the pass with the run. I think they really did a nice job, and it wasn't always going to be the same player. Braden Tacey got himself involved in the offense. Logan Anthony was obviously involved in the offense. Max Fellas was involved on a couple of catches. They tried to throw the throwback screen to Christie. So, and then, of course, Coquillard can run the ball a little bit. So, just having all those different options in it, but making them feel complete and part of it. And it keeps their interest. It's no different than trying to get somebody a shot. You don't want to put them out there, or a field goal kicker, with not kicking at all, not kicking extra points, but you want them to kick a game-winning field goal. You get them out there, you score a couple touchdowns, you get the leg loosened up, and everything kind of flows. You're not going to throw another kicker out there. So at the end of the day, I think with the options that they had, they were able to really expose a couple of different things. But again, I think the Bobcat defense, wore down a little bit. They played their hearts out. Kudos to them. Kudos to Coach Horton and his staff for getting that defense ready. But at the end of the day, you couldn't overcome the field position. You couldn't overcome some of the penalties that the John Glenn offense was kind of hurting themselves with. And, the pick six is one thing, but, let's take that out of the equation. That was the first possession of the game. 2 minutes into the game, find themselves down 7-0. Overall, John Glenn can really learn a little bit from this game, but really they need to put this game in the rear view and start focusing on Swan Valley. And Garber, as the victorious team, they're going to be able to enjoy this night. It's homecoming. They got the dance tomorrow. They got all the activities tomorrow. They're going to hopefully have a safe and enjoyable weekend, come back on Sunday, and then they start ready for the number 1 team in the state, Frankenmuth.
Untimely penalties, I think. You talked about penalties, but the timing of those penalties really seemed to disrupt the rhythm that John Glenn was trying to do offensively. And make no mistake, this was a very, very hard-fought football game. And I thought, as you talked about early in the game, way closer than the score will indicate for those casual people just looking at the score.
Oh, they'll look at it and they'll go, they blew them out last year, they blew them out this year. But you really had to be here. You really had to dive in. And when you watch this game, when you watch it back on here on Bay County TV, you're going to be able to pick out some things. And you're right, it's untimely penalties. You know, you get a 30-yard run and you're in Garber's territory and you got some momentum, and then you end up with a chop block and you're 15 yards back. So now it's 1st and 25. And, you know, we talk about the playbook, and it doesn't matter what you are as a coach. I mean, you're Pete Carroll. What was that guy down at Michigan? What's Brady Hoke? 1st and 25, there's not a lot of play calls that you have in your repertoire of sorts. So, you know, it's, you know, all of a sudden it deflates you. And then what do you have?
Well, we've got a great treat next week. Ooh. We reshuffled our schedule a little bit. We are going to go back out to the cornfield as Western and Mount Pleasant will be playing for Saginaw Valley supremacy in the biggest game we've seen with Western in a long time, and I cannot wait to watch that matchup.
That game right there, if a win for Western, you're talking about points. You're talking about, and you're going to talk about a fantastic game that's going to be hits. There's going to be action. There's going to be nonstop. I think the cornfield, it's been a couple years, like you said. I think Coach Yerk really had a good thing going out there when he was out there.
Had some success.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They've had some success. They've had some playoff success. This team that Coach Willards has is special, and I'm looking forward to getting my first look at the Warriors, and against a really quality team in Mount Pleasant.
Well, that about puts the wraps on our activity tonight in our Collier Chiropractic post-game show. I'm Jeff Doan, along with my partner Jason Newsham. Thank you, Jared Doan, for manning the camera tonight. Hope that you all have a great night, and we'll look forward to talking with you soon.